What's up, folks? In today's video, I'm just showing off some rough concept art for a couple of the RPG style classes that exist within this fantasy world of mine that I've been building here on the channel. Up until now, I've just been doing these videos for this series where I design the creatures that inhabit the world, but over time I want to do some things like this where I show off more than just those creatures and really turn it into a complete world. So these character classes that I'm basically going to be treating as if they were something from a video game in a sense, where you have all these different archetypes like your classic warriors, mages, and rogues kind of thing, with each class branching out into two subclasses for more specialization. So the ones I'm sketching up here are for the Dreadlord class, which is basically like a Death Knight. The two specializations within this class are the Necromancer, which you see me working on now, and the Blood Knight. In the broader scope, Dreadlords revolve around the element of shadow. Unholy magic or dark magic is another term for this element. The Necromancer spec is just like you'd expect. It's a class that focuses on summoning the dead to aid in combat. Necromancer armor varies, usually a mix between some plate and chain armor with some lighter cloth like your iconic Reaper style hoods and all that sort. They typically wield weapons like scythes and staves, and they have a good mix of ranged spells and up-close abilities, which revolve around the whole theme of the undead. You'll see with this rough concept sketch that I did a little skeleton dude just to show that it's a minion-based class, and I made a couple different armor sets, one that is a little more bone-themed, and the other I themed around crows. I'll probably eventually do like complete, clean character renders of these classes eventually, but for now, I'm just going to be doing these rough concepts just to get the point across. So here's the completed sketch for the Necromancer subclass. It's nothing fancy with this one, just a good old-fashioned common RPG class that I feel like is a necessity in any medieval type fantasy world. And with this one out the way, let's move on to the other subclass for the Dreadlord. Alright, so this one I'll just admit is like my favorite type of fantasy class. Death Knights are my thing, especially ones decked out in badass metalhead armor, but I wanted to really narrow down its theme even more so into one thing in particular: blood magic. It's another type of magic included in the shadow element, but works totally different from something like your undead-based stuff you get with the Necromancer. These Blood Knights aren't necessarily like vampires in that sense you normally think of, where you bite someone and turn them into a fellow vampire or that kind of thing. Vampirism is a broad term within this world. There are creatures that are vampires because they gain energy by drinking the blood of their victims, but then there's your case with the Blood Knights here who are powered by blood essence, yes, but they're not fanged bloodsuckers that transform into bats or things like that. The blood magic that these knights use is more so like a curse or pact with the devil kind of thing. It's a give and take. Though the Blood Knights have incredible power, it comes at a great cost. This dark magic basically forces the Blood Knights to have to kill and spill blood, or they will drastically weaken over time and eventually succumb to death themselves. As they absorb the blood from their victims, they gain more power, and the more enemies in succession that they defeat, the more bloodthirsty they become. Eventually this can make the Blood Knight fully lose their sanity and become a mindless monster who can no longer control themselves. So because of this, there are many Blood Knights who try to limit the effects of this curse by only absorbing just enough blood essence to survive. The most powerful of the Blood Knights can even learn to bend blood to their will. So like if an enemy has an open wound, these high-level Blood Knights can just use magic to rip out the blood from them. They can even form the blood into temporary weapons or nasty little blood beasts to assist in combat. They primarily wear heavy-plated armor and chainmail, adorned with super edgy shit like spikes or bat wings. And for weapons, you can see that I sketched a wide variety. They use axes, swords, flails, shields if you want to go more defensive, pole arms, or even scythes like the Necromancer. Basically anything that's got spikes or is good for decapitation. But anyways, here's the completed rough concept for the Blood Knight. Hope y'all enjoyed this little peek into one of the many character classes I'll be designing for this world. Do me a solid, if you like the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, and also subscribe to the channel if you like the content and want to keep up to date with everything I do here. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.